All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. If you have ever wondered where the price of Bitcoin is heading next, this is the video for you. Hit the like button. We are going over several Bitcoin charts today. We're going to get into short-term timescale, but I want to start with some big picture macroeconomic timeframes with Bitcoin compared to other global reserve currencies of the world. Let's jump in. I took 500 years of global reserve currency data and overlaid Ray Dalio's relative standing of great empire charts. So as we all know, government-backed fiat has a shelf life, right? It doesn't last forever because empires, they don't last forever. Even the most successful empire, like the Roman Empire, eventually it crumbled. This is a chart of the estimated relative standing of great empires, so the dominance of great empires throughout history, from the 1500s all the way till today, 2020, compared to the global reserve currencies that were strongest at the time. So first off, as you can see, historically speaking, fiat money from different regimes throughout history really only have a shelf life of about 100 to at most 200 years. This is why SOV, stores of value, have been so important to mankind throughout history, because regimes come and go, but if somebody can find a store of value for their money, like gold, that's how an individual can retain their wealth, despite what fiat money does. So check this out. This relative strength index goes from 0 to 1, and this is the level of empires relative to other empires, and the global reserve currencies that had the most power, most dominance at that time. Spain's currency, at least its dominance as the global reserve currency of the world, lasted about 111 years. As you can see, the UK had the global reserve currency from the 1800s to the beginning of the 1900s. And that brings us to the global reserve currency of today. The USA started in 1920. It peaked, and then today. Yes, the US dollar is still stronger than every other currency in the world, but compared to our peak dominance about 50 years ago, we have lost about 25% of our strength. And who's gaining? This red dotted line represents China. If in the last 20 to really 30 years, China's currency has gained this much dominance compared to the US, compared to everything else, where will this chart be in another 50 years? This is why stores of value to the human race are so important. Now, I liked this because gold is not a state, gold is not a nation. Bitcoin is not a state. Bitcoin is not a nation. They are independent, they are not controlled by any third party, and gold has been proven to be a store of value used successively over nations, over centuries. For Bitcoin, it may well be used by several successive nations over centuries or millennia, because Bitcoin is a harder money. Now, I would have loved to see gold on this chart, especially once we got to the 1930s and 1970s. But I like this. If in the next 100 years, Bitcoin I've added to the equation, hey, we started here at nothing, and on a macroeconomic timeline, how long will it be till we peak? And obviously nothing peaks forever. There will be ebbs and flows. If gold was on this chart, we'd see peaks and we'd see ebbs and flows, but relatively with gold, we'd see the strength somewhere near the top. Macroeconomically for Bitcoin, we're pretty early. Hey, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Yes, it's real easy to speculate on large scale timeframes, but we can get ultra specific on smaller timescales, like where the Bitcoin price is today and where the Bitcoin price is headed in the near future. Let's jump in. First off, many of you are still asking me, Austin, how do I participate in this charity poker tournament? Many of you are still asking me, hey, I see Charlie Lee is going to be playing, Ran Nooner, Ben Askren, Tone Vase, Dan Held. I want to trash talk Charlie Lee about Litecoin. I want to bust some of these people out. This is for charity. It's going to be fun. If you want to be a part of this, you have less than 48 hours. I repeat, you have less than 48 hours. I'm going to put a link down below in the description. And by the way, myself, my brother, we will be playing, we will be talking to you on these poker tables. It's online. Anybody in the world, even the US, can participate. There's a link down below. Less than 48 hours. It's going to be a lot of fun. But moving into smaller time frames, the next Bitcoin chart, the Bitcoin Mayor Multiple. This was created by prodigal son, OG Bitcoiner Trace Mayer, who has since been ostracized from a lot of the Bitcoin community for trying to shill a 50% pre-mined coin. But anyway, the metric still stands. The Mayer multiple is calculated by dividing the Bitcoin price today by the 200-day moving average of that price. And this is just a way to analyze the price of Bitcoin in a historical context. So right now, where we stand today, the Mer multiple is at 0.824. And the Bitcoin price is around 6,800. Now again, 0.824 does not happen every time Bitcoin's price is 6,800. This is based on the Bitcoin price today, this yellow line, right? This looks familiar, and the 200-day moving average, that dotted line. And notice Bitcoin's price right now is still below the 200-day moving average. This other website says 0.83. So is this a good time to buy, historically speaking? Well, first off, the Mer multiple has historically been higher than today's value 75% of the time, meaning Bitcoin and its value has been higher than this relative to its moving average 75% of the time. The average Mer multiple since its creation of Bitcoin is about 1.37. Again, just based on this metric showing that we're undervalued, 0.83 compared to on average 1.37. Now, what is the significance of 2.4? Well, based on simulations performed by Trace Mayer in the past, determined that the best long-term results for buying Bitcoin was achieved by accumulating Bitcoin whenever the Mer multiple was below 2.4. Again, right now we're 0.83. Contextually speaking, it was a couple months ago that the Mer multiple was 0.5. We've only ever hit that low of a Mer multiple 1, 2, 3 times in Bitcoin's life. Obviously, we're only going to know when a local low happens after it happens. But point is 0.85, 0.83, not a bad time according to the Bitcoin Mer multiple. One last Bitcoin chart. This is the first time that I'm showing you this. This one's more experimental, meaning it's new, meaning it's still being proven, but this is Bitcoin's network momentum. So this is a leading indicator as opposed to the bullishness and bearishness of Twitter. That's a trailing indicator, right? Twitter gets bullish after the price has already moved. Or bearish after the price has already fallen. This is supposedly a leading indicator, Bitcoin network momentum. This indicator, network momentum, is a view created by Philip Swift, which looks into the value transmitted through the Bitcoin blockchain, denominated in BTC value, plotted against Bitcoin price. So basically, sufficiently high levels of value throughput are needed to drive a bull market. And this looks at the value going through the blockchain as an indicator, as a precursor to leading the bull market. And before we get to where we stand today, all this data comes from Coinmetrics Pro. The official bull market in the price started when the momentum in the blockchain passed all-time highs of value transmitted momentum in the blockchain when it confirmed and passed it again. So notice we saw a lot. This is 2011, 2012. Notice back here, the price peaked and we saw a lot of momentum in the blockchain. We need a confirmation. In 2012, we were going up, but again, we didn't pass previous highs. It wasn't until the network momentum passed previous network momentum highs. The price at the time wasn't necessarily going up yet, but because the network momentum in the blockchain had confirmed previous highs, the bull market had officially started and the price started to climb. That was the first instance. If we look at 2017, the momentum started in 2014 to 2016. Notice the bull market didn't officially start until the momentum passed highs of the previous bull market for momentum. And of course, the price hadn't moved yet, but the momentum in the blockchain was there and the price continued to creep up. So where are we today? Well, we saw a lot of momentum in this run up last year when Bitcoin hit almost 14K. Right now, momentum's minimal in the blockchain. Okay. What do you think? To me, this says, yes, well, the Mer multiple, that was bullish, saying, hey, it's a great time to buy. To me, this says, if we're just going by this, and again, this is just experimental because we don't have that many data points to go by, but to me, this says that we're seeing the momentum, but the confirmed bull market will not start until this momentum passes the old highs of the last bull market. So, we have a long way to go. Hey, I'm just being realistic. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below in the comments. But that is the video for today. My name's Austin, and like always, I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to play with us at the poker tournament, less than 48 hours. All right, guys. And let me know in the comments, are you playing in this poker tournament? A lot of people have been asking me, so this is why I want to make sure we get this information right. Last time there was almost 300 people playing. Again, 50% of the winnings go to the final table, 50% to charity, but there should be a lot more people this time. It's going to be fun.